Nazi Germany war crimes led to the Nuremberg trials, which were a series of military tribunals that tried the most important political, medical, and military leaders of the Third Reich. As a result of those trials, the Nuremberg Code, a set of research ethics principles for human experimentation, was created. It laid out 10 standards of ethical medical behavior that is now accepted worldwide. The first point of the code is that voluntary consent of the human subject is essential. Was there informed or voluntary consent of the people before requiring use of mandatory masks or the looming vaccine mandate? By creating unlawful mask and vaccine mandates, politicians are playing doctor, putting themselves in the position of dictating health directives and medical interventions to the population. That violates Nuremberg Code Point 8. Experiments must be conducted by scientifically qualified persons. The people did not give consent for politicians, who are medically unqualified, especially Governor Lamont, to act as their personal physician. Point 9 of the code states that anyone must have the freedom to bring the experiment to an end at any time. Do we have the right to end the mask mandate and allow our children to attend schools unmasked? No, we do not. Our rights are being violated. We cannot try to exercise our freedom to make our own medical decision in choosing not to wear a mask. Society is regressing right now. Why is it that people are so willing to give up hard-fought rights and freedoms out of fear? Collectively, we are forgetting that we have already, not so long ago, established fundamental human rights such as bodily autonomy, medical sovereignty, and informed voluntary consent. The Nuremberg Code should be a stark reminder that we have been through this before. Many are fond of the saying, history repeats itself, but I prefer the full quote from Sidney Harris. History repeats itself, but in such a cunning disguise that we never detect the resemblance until the damage is done. The history of modern times shows that the influenza pandemics of 1918, 1958, 1968, 2002, and 2009, masks in everyday use could not achieve the hope for success in the fight against viral infections. These past outbreaks have led to scientific studies concluding that masks do not show any significant effect in regards to viruses in an everyday scenario. Scientists have then gone on to rate masks as unsuitable to protect the user safely from a viral infection. Even in hospital use, surgical masks lack strong evidence of protection against viruses. They were born out of the knowledge of protecting wounds from surgeon saliva and bacterial droplet contamination. Unfortunately, the mask only protects symbolically while at the same time representing the fear of infection, a sort of psychological support for the general public during the pandemic. I stated last meeting that I was here to advance critical thinking, which is the intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, and analyzing facts gathered from observation, research, and experience. In your own Board of Education policy, it states that students shall acquire knowledge and mastery of skills by engaging in critical thinking. Clearly, the board sees this as an important educational tool and life skill as well. Yet it was extremely disappointing to be mocked by a board member last meeting in such a contemptuous manner for stating how we are advocating for critical thought. Your policy also states that collaboration and problem solving are important factors in our educational goals. So, for masks, I have a simple solution, and one that doesn't mean tossing out our individual and civil liberties, and it goes like this. Those who choose to wear a mask can do so, and those who don't are not mandated against their free will.